All right, here we are yet again for the Sales Confidence Podcast. My name is Brian K. McNeill, and I'm honored that you chose to join me here. Now, today's topic is how to fall in love with selling. How to fall in love with selling. Some people Now, it's been my experience. My name is Brian K. McNeill. I'm the sales confidence coach, and I've been helping people to sell better for 29 years. I've thousands of people have been positively impacted by my stuff. I've written 4 amazing books on how to sell. I have clients right now. I'm still a selling sales coach. I don't just talk about it. I actually do this work myself every day. Got group programs as well as individual programs. And I get a chance to talk to entrepreneurs and salespeople a lot. I get to address audiences often. And very often, when I address the audience, I will ask these questions. I'll ask questions like, how many people here don't like selling? Now, if it's 100 people in the room, how many of them you think will raise their hand saying they don't like to sell? It's more than half of them, okay? Pretty much maybe 75% of them feel like they don't like to sell. And then after I get that answer, I will I'll ask, are there any single ladies here? And there'll be a smattering of women raise their hands. I said, okay, of you single ladies, I have this man I want to introduce you to, and he's a salesman type. Now, with just that description, what image comes to your mind? What comes? And for very often, the image that comes to their mind is not a positive one. They think things like used car salesman. They think sometimes pushy. They think sometimes, not pleasant. And those thoughts are holdovers from things in the past. Like at one time in this country, salespeople could get away with doing that to people because they knew more than the clients knew. They knew the real prices of things. They knew what the products really would do or the services really could do. And the consumer had to hope that the salesperson was honest. Well, today we don't have to hope that the salesperson is honest. We can check them out. We can read their reviews. We can see what the products and services actually do right there in their face. We can check them out. And it's vain for you entrepreneurs to assume that any client you're going to work with is not going to also do their own due diligence and check out your reviews and your testimonials. They're going to read all of that stuff because they're not wanting to waste any of their money or any of their time. So you have to assume they're going to check you out. Now, today, because people do check you out, today's entrepreneur, today's salesperson has to be above reproach. They have to be able to be honest. They have to offer things that actually are of good quality, because if they don't, everyone will know about it in a short time period and they'll be out of business. They have to actually do customer service, or not, they're going to get dragged through Yelp reviews or Google reviews or any of their reviews. They're going to get dragged, so they can't get away with that anymore. So knowing this to be true, today's salesperson and today's entrepreneurs have to be one of the best people in the room. Now, today, my topic for you is how to fall in love with selling. Now, that seems like a long reach when we just established that most people don't even like to sell, or at least they say they don't like selling. I'm here to tell you that everyone who says that they don't like to sell, even if it's you, if you're one of these people that also say you don't like to sell, I want to ask you, has anyone ever bought anything from you? And then after they gave you the money for the thing that you asked for, after they gave you the money for the service that you offered, once you got that money, have you ever thought to yourself, I did not like the fact that they paid me for my services. I did not like the fact that they paid me for my products. No one ever had that thought. Actually, you thought the exact opposite. You liked the fact that they paid you for your services. You liked the fact that they paid you for your products. And actuality, everyone actually likes to sell. They actually love to sell, to get money in exchange for what they offer. What they don't like are the things that happen before the sale. They don't like the uncertainty. They don't like the potential for a no. That's the part they don't like. But the actual selling of it, they do like. I'm going to show you that how lots of ways, a few ways anyway, in the time that we have, ways to fall in love with the act of selling again. Now, I also co-host a podcast with my wife, and that show is called Let's Talk About It. And we did a show earlier this week where we talked about the purpose and your calling. Purpose and your calling. And what we came to agree is the one true purpose is to serve others and to please God. To serve others and to please God. History is rife with stories of people who were successful in their lives and then near the end of their days looking for purpose, looking for a way to serve others, looking for someone else that they can pass on the knowledge that they have attained throughout their lives. Some great books are on that basic premise. The book, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, he wanted to pass on some knowledge. The Richest Man in Babylon wanted to pass on some knowledge. So many of the book of Faust, he found some swampland in his later life, and he started to convert it into a usable farm. That brought him joy. So many people that live to be over 100, they live that long because they have something to care for, something to take care of, someone to care for. How you doing, Brother Alton? That's why people can live a long time. That's why people can find love, having someone to serve. That's part of your purpose, who you're here to serve. And the act of selling, it gives you an opportunity to actually serve. If someone bought something from you and you know that they're better off because what they bought from you, you actually served them. Did you improve their life in some way? That is you serving through what you offer. And for most people, serving and improving other people's lives makes them happy. Why is it that we feel happy to give a gift? Why are we happy to give a gift? And why do we like to see the joy in the person that received the gift? There used to be a television show in this country called The Millionaire. It ran in the 60s, called The Millionaire. And the premise of the show, The Millionaire, was there was this multimillionaire who had this peculiar thing he liked to do. He used to like to give away $1 million checks to total strangers. He liked to give strangers $1 million check because he knew what it would do for their lives. And the way he would do that, he hired a salesman, and the salesman on the show was a guy named Michael Anthony. And he would give Michael Anthony a check for $1 million. And Michael Anthony's job was to give it to a stranger. Okay? And the way he would do that, he'd have on his sport coat, and he'd put the check for $1 million right in his jacket pocket. And Michael Anthony, he would go into neighborhoods and he would knock on a random door. And what he was attempting to do was to not meet someone at their home, get inside their home, just sit and talk with them for a little bit. And based upon their story, that he would just give them $1 million. Now, 2021, we don't really go to people's homes like that and try it again. But in the 60s and the 50s of this country, it wasn't that uncommon. Hey, do you have some time to chat? Okay. So that's what he would do. He would knock on strangers' doors and see if he can, hello, my name is Michael Anthony. I'm in the neighborhood. I just want to know if you had a few moments to just talk with me. Could I talk with you? And sometimes they would be very rude to him. Get away from here. Get off my porch. Get out of here. They would be rude to him, and they would tell him to leave, and he would just turn around with a smile on his face and leave, walk down the sidewalk and just go to the next house, because he knew in his chest pocket he had a check for $1 million. And if they would just listen to his story and tell him theirs, they could also get that check for $1 million. He knew he had it. So even if people were very rude to him, it never shook his faith. They never shook his attitude, because he was selling with a millionaire attitude. One of the best parts about being in the profession of selling, you get to bolster your spirit. And it's like the number one thing you can do for your self-development. You get to practice, you get to learn. So if Michael Anthony, he would go to the next house after they was rude to him at the last house. And sometimes the folks would say, sure, I got some time, come on in. And they'd even serve him coffee and cake. And he would sit there and listen to the husband and wife tell the story of their marriage and of their children. And he said, that was beautiful. Here, I have something for you now. You've been so nice to me. And they'd give him a check for $1 million and their whole life is, wow. Isn't that great? What would happen to you, my entrepreneurial friend, if you sold your services with that millionaire attitude, with that $1 million attitude, that if they just listened to your story and told you theirs, you could bless them with $1 million? If you knew that your clients would be way better off in some way, if you knew they would be way better off in some way, don't you owe it to them to motivate them to take advantage of what you're offering? Now, if you're not sure that they're way better off doing business with you, then you can be kind of, wishy-washy about it. But if you're sure they're better off, don't you owe it to them to motivate them? That's the other thing that I love about selling, and maybe you will too. Selling today is an opportunity for you to motivate other people. Motivate other people. Because today I see selling as an act of motivation, not an act of transaction. It used to be transaction. Give me $100, I'll give you this thing. Okay, that's transactional. But today it's more motivational. You're motivating them to take an action that is in their best interest. Motivating them to take an action that is in their best interest. That means a lot of things. That means give you money and do the stuff that you suggest, to take an action that's in their best interest. It's an act of motivation. One of the things about selling that we love is it's an opportunity to serve. It's an opportunity to motivate. It's an opportunity to develop your own skills. It's also an opportunity for you to be competitive. For example, a lot of adults today used to play team sports when they were a child. They play on the basketball team, the soccer team, the football team, they ran track. And if you was on any kind of teams, you never went completely. Sometimes you have really, really good long streaks, but you never went completely with all wins and no losses, or all losses and no wins. You have wins and losses. And because there's losses, the wins are more fun. And that makes sense? Because there's some losses, you enjoy the wins more. When the losses come, you're not happy about the losses. You're discouraged, you're pissed off about losing. But the other opportunity comes. You got another game tomorrow or next week, another opportunity to win and lose. The opportunity to both win and lose is exhilarating. How much fun would bowling be if you never got a chance to see the pins go down, if you never got a chance to hear the crack of the ball hitting the pins, if you didn't see what happened after it rolled halfway down the lane? It's not much fun. Not an opportunity to see the scoring, to watch the pins fall. Yes, that's it, brother. It's motivating them to take an action that is in their best interest. And in life, just like in team sports, it is more joy. How much more joy is it when you overcome an odd? How can we love to watch the story of the underdog beating the favored? When the little team beats the mighty team. That's so much fun to watch. The miracle on ice was the U.S. hockey team's 18, 19, and 20-year-olds going up against Russia's 27, 28, 29, and 30-year-old grown men. That same year, the miracle on ice happened in 1980 in Lake Placid in the Olympic Games when the United States beat Russia, the vaunted Russian team. Well, 6 weeks before that game, in the preliminaries, the United States had played Russia, and Russia beat them 10-0 in hockey. 10 goals in hockey, that's a lot. They beat them 10-0. In America, they made some tweaks to their game. They let some of their players go. They added more players. They designed a team that was fast on skates instead of big and strong. They designed a team that can outskate them or be faster than them because they couldn't match up physically to these grown men. Our players were 18, 19, and 20. Those guys 27, 28, 29. They're grown men. They were beating up on Americans. So when they decided to switch to a smaller, faster team that was able to pull an upset. How Michaels call, do you believe in miracles? Yes, because it was a minor miracle that America beat the vaunted Russia team. Now we love that. That's famous to us because we got a chance to win. Selling gives you that opportunity to win. You don't win all the time, and to me, that's part of the joy. Here's some other things that help me to love selling. Um, and it's going to now one of the things I love about selling is the opportunity to earn really good money. Okay, so let's take some simple numbers. If I make a sale and I earn, let's say, $1,000, okay, I make one sale, I earn $1,000. And let's say my numbers, just for the sake of math, my numbers are way better than what I'm going to use. But let's say I average selling 1 out of 10 presentations. 1 out of 10 presentations equals $1,000 my way. So simple math. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100, right? So that means every presentation I give was worth at least $100 to me, because that $100 adds up to the 200, 300, and it gives me that sale that I win. That's because my average numbers. Every presentation leads you to your money. Every presentation. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? That all of your presentations can equal money. All of your presentations add to bigger sales. Every one of them equals you earning your livelihood, whether they bought from you now or later. I find great joy in that. Just present. Just keep presenting. Just keep offering the opportunity to learn and tweak and get better and better. And you can see your personal growth through the act of selling. Your personal growth. So let's count the cost now. So first off, selling allows you to serve. It allows you to improve yourself. It allows you to be competitive and to win and lose. It allows you also to be the best version of yourself, because you have to keep developing and trying things and money, significant money. So I think a couple of those ran together. So that's 6 I named off the top of my head, 6 benefits of selling. Also, there was an adage, again, I've been in the game 29, 30 years. There was an adage I learned many, many years ago. It said that selling is the highest paid hard work, and it's the lowest paid easy work, and you get to decide which is the one you want to work, which is the way you want to work. The highest paying hard work and the lowest paying easy work, which means there's no income ceilings and there's no income floors. And that means that you, my entrepreneur friend, have complete freedom as to how hard you're going to work or how not hard you're going to work. Consequently, how much more money you're going to earn versus not earn. That's another beautiful thing about selling. When you work hard and apply yourself and you learn skills and you follow systems, you can earn more and more money. I like that. I like that. Also, I gotta just say, if you couldn't tell by now, I love the whole act of selling. I think these are the real soldiers of the world today, the ones who go out there and put themselves out there in exchange for money or profit. By the way, nothing happens in this country or another country. Nothing moves, nothing changes, nothing is improved until a sale is made. Nothing happens until a sale is made. No rocket gets built until someone sold the concept of it, and every bit of metal and rubber and electronics that went into building that rocket had to be bought and sold by somebody else. We just celebrated, I call it Indigenous People Day. Some people still call it Columbus Day. And in history books, if you look up what was Columbus's profession, it would say that he was a navigator. But he was looking for India. He was way off, so he wasn't that good of a navigator. Okay. He was way off. But what Columbus actually was a salesperson. Let me tell you why. He was watch the ships going out, and he would see the ships getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And he had the idea that the earth must be round. Okay, so let's go this way to get to India instead of going all around that way. Because if we go to this way, we can get there much faster. And then we can barter and trade with them, and we can earn more money that way. We can earn money faster. So now he had an idea. So what he has to do now, he has to get a ship or a couple of ships to go take the trip. But he don't have money. So he finally gets, he's a Spaniard, and he's in Italy. I'm paraphrasing a lot of the story. And he gets an opportunity to talk to the queen, and told the queen, look, if we do this together, we can make more money. We can do that kind of thing. Now, the queen wasn't as interested in money, but she did want to populate the world in her religion, in her faith, and Christianity is what she wanted to do. So he had to sell her, look, if we go there, whatever people we do, we're going to proselytize Christianity to them and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, well, great idea, Chris, but I don't have any money. I can't afford it. And he said to her, well, look, you got on all these jewels. You got these jewels all over the place. Why don't we, sell some of these jewels and raise the money that way? So he helped her with financing. So she sold some of her jewels. They built 3 ships, Nina, Pinta, and Santa Marina. They went out there looking for the new land, okay? Looking for India is where they were going for. Now, on the way there, the crew that was with Columbus, they were scared. Some of the crew thought they were going to sail off the edge of the earth and lose their life, and they kept wanting to turn around and go back. And every day Columbus had to keep selling his crew on the benefits of reaching there. They had to keep going. He had to keep talking them into it. They even got to the place where they wanted to chop off his head and turn around. They were going to cut off his head. The crew was mutinying because they couldn't see when they were going to land on land. They thought they were sailing into their doom, is what a lot of them thought. And Columbus kept talking them into it. And then finally, a bird landed on one of their ships. They realized they must be close to the land. They kept on sailing. They landed in the Caribbean, and they said this must be India. So the Taino people that they originally saw, these are Indians. Okay, now, that's a long, drawn-out version of the story. But the point is, nothing happened until someone sold something. Now, Columbus is given credit for discovering this world. So why aren't we called the United States of Columbus instead of the United States of America? America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, who was a writer. Okay, is what he did. Columbus discovered it, but Amerigo Vespucci, he wrote about what was going on, and he let England know. He kept the communication up. Everything that was going on, so he became more important because he was willing to write it and tell the tale. That's how we ended up with that. You're welcome to shoot holes in my story. I'm going to say to you, I love selling, and you should too, because nothing happens. The globe doesn't even move until something is sold. When you sell, you serve someone, especially when you know that the thing that you're selling them is going to improve their lives. And how much it improves their lives, the greater. If it improves their lives greatly, then you serve them greatly. You have the opportunity for self-improvement. The best self-improvement university is to be an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is the best self-improvement class because you have to keep improving. You have to keep on improving. It doesn't stop. You got to keep on growing. It never ends. You got to keep on learning. You can't learn enough. You got to keep on evolving. And I think that's growth all the time. You get to serve. You get to improve. You get to keep score. You get to win and lose. You get to become best version of yourself. You get to become proud of yourself. I love selling, and you should too. This has been Brian K. McNeill with the Sales Confidence Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back here next Tuesday at 1 p.m.